Good afternoon, Year 10, and welcome to our ASL Assembly this week. As always, we've got our thinking point for the Assembly. How was your first full week of summer term 1 on virtual school? Was it as productive as it could have been? I know we had lots of you online, lots of you prepared last week, really high levels of engagement and some brilliant work completed. So we are really proud of you, and especially those students that are submitting that work for their teachers to get that feedback. So big well done. What praise and rewards have you received so far? Lots of you have been receiving certificates from our senior leader team or from Mrs. Thompson. Also, we've had students receiving certificates for points. If it's you, well done. If it's not you, could it be you next week? And finally, when have you epitomised our motto? As always, our motto is no limits, and we're going to stretch this motto this week with something a little bit different. So your challenge for the summer term is the Go for Gold Challenge. What is the Go for Gold Challenge, you ask? Well, let me explain. We as a team wanted to continue to motivate you to keep your spirit up during the virtual school process, and we came up with an idea that would enable you to be recognised for your hard work with some rewards and prizes, but also motivate some of you that are kind of feeling a bit kind of done, a bit bored with virtual school now. This is going to help you stay on track. So, the Go for Gold Challenge, as it briefly says here, I'll give you a snapshot of it. This is your opportunity to complete some subject challenges. When you complete one of the challenges, you turn that challenge gold and you can win prizes. These rewards will include things like early lunches and pizza parties when we're back at school, but also shopping vouchers, which can be emailed to you via your email address. So I'm going to run through it with you now very kind of quickly. If you ever want to look back, you can obviously view this assembly again, or head to the Year 10 Aldersley page and you will see all of the action taking place on there for the Go for Gold Challenge. So without further ado, let me explain what this looks like. So let me show you the challenge spreadsheet to enable you to get all of the rewards that you want to, so you can be in the best position when to school. So on the left hand side down here, you can see all of your names are there. Each of you has your own row, and we are going to look at, first of all, these boxes at the top. So these are your challenges, and as you can see, they are split to start with into 5. So we have challenge 1 to 5. If you complete all of these, you win the 5 prize. So you can see these challenges are quite similar. For English, for example, your first challenge is, can you ensure you are regularly attending and interacting in virtual lessons? So that means you are going onto your English class Teams page, your teacher can see that you have been on and viewed the assignment, and you are interacting. So if you're asked a question, you answer it. You might be liking some of the comments that your classmates are making. It is clear that you haven't just gone on there, loaded it up and then gone on your Xbox. It is the same for maths. And it is the same in languages and humanities, so thinking about history, geography, your MFL subjects. With these ones, you have to submit work as well. For open subjects, there's a little bit of a difference, so I'll talk you through that in a minute. And science, it's the same. So these ones are kind of just about your interaction. Now, if you do that, you are going to be winning the 5 prize, which is a week of early lunch upon our return to school. So that means when we get back to school, you can have early lunch for a week. When instead of going to form, you are going to be able to have that time to see your friends and catch up. So that is a really good reward. I know loads of you like early lunch. So if you do meet that, how it will work is your teachers will turn these boxes gold. So say if it was Zilan is regularly attending her English lessons, she's regularly interacting on the chat, she's going to get a gold for that. Now it might be that some of your teachers notice you doing these things, and they manually come on here and do it. All of your teachers will have access to it. So I'm Zilan's English teacher. I might notice she's doing that, so I'm going to go on and make sure I turn that gold. It might be, however, that you need to remind your teacher. So it might be that you drop them an email, you go onto Teams to them and say, "Sir, I'm always in my maths lesson. I'm regularly interacting, so can you make sure I go for gold on the maths challenge?" And they can make sure they do that for you. So the aim is to turn these boxes gold. Once they're all gold, you unlock your prize. They get harder, obviously, because the prizes get better. For example, the 10 prize, anyone that completes all of these challenges here will win a pizza and donut party upon our return to school. So if any of you complete all of these, which I'm hoping lots of you do, you will all receive that party, and you will all be able to take part in that when we get back to school. That'll be something really nice to look forward to, and I'm sure we'll be able to put some music on, as you've seen in the Year 10 Oldersley Students page with our competitions. Might even let you pick it. The final set of challenges gets that little bit harder. So if we just scroll across. Now, this is where you can win a really good prize. The final prize is a shopping voucher. And that means we can email you that shopping voucher. So that is something that you can access from home already. So this is something as well, obviously, you can spend on anything that you want. So if you get all of these done, you are going to unlock yourself something where you can treat yourself. So obviously they're going to be a little bit harder, they're going to be more difficult, and you're going to have to think about how you're going to complete these. So that is what it looks like. Now, I did say that there was a bit of a challenge with the open ones. Now, at the bottom of this spreadsheet, you can see open subject challenges. Now, these are specific, and the reason is, as you'll know from our deadline day challenge in February, you all have very specific things to do for your open subjects. So what your open teachers have done is they have come up with their own challenges for these, and it is specific to your class. So as an example, if you study health and social and you have Miss Blake, to get that challenge 5 of the week of early lunches, you need to complete up to point number 60 of the help sheet. Now, if you don't do health, you won't know what that means, like I don't. But if you are in Miss Blake's class for health, you will know exactly what that means, and as soon as that's done, it goes gold. Similarly, in music, the musicians, it might be you've done your challenge 5 prize task, now you're going to do your challenge 10 prize. So to get that from Miss Drury, you need to complete task 2.1 from your unit 201 TA to at least your target grade standard. As soon as she sees that, she'll turn it gold for you. I hope you can see, especially for these open ones, if you study an open subject, why these are going to be so good for you, because this is going to mean your coursework is really nearing completion, ready for when we get back to school. So that was a quick overview. I will show you them in a little bit more detail now on individual slides so you can see them, but don't worry if you're unclear, there's some more top tips coming up. So let's have a closer look then and ensure that we're really clear on what we have to do. So we're going to start off then. Everyone needs to make sure they're going for gold on the challenge 5. I've taught you through these. They're mostly about just interacting in your lessons. That means you're online, you're not sat on your Xbox. It's very clear that you are looking at the work. The one I just want to highlight is challenge 4. You have completed, obviously, what your teacher has said if you do an open subject. Now, for those of you, there's about 30 of you that don't do an open subject because you do triple science. Your challenge is to have done an extra hour of Seneca. So that is your challenge if you don't do an open subject. If you go for gold on all of these and you achieve it, so that means your teacher has signed you off, they've changed the colour to gold for each of these cells, you will win that 5 prize. Next up is challenge 10. So this one, as you saw, a little bit more difficult, but again, loads of you doing this anyway. So in English, I'm regularly submitting work for feedback. You're not just being a silent assassin, as some of you are, sitting looking at the lesson. You are actively doing the tasks that are set in your subjects, and you are submitting it for feedback from your teacher. In languages, they're asking you to have done 3 hours of Seneca, memorise or active learn. As soon as you've done that, you get signed off. In science, 5 hours on Seneca since Easter. Some of you have already done that or are well on the way to doing that because you're on Seneca so much. And as always with Open, Challenge 10 for Open, they're all there for you, aren't they, on that second tab. But if you do triple science, they want an extra hour of Seneca on top. If you do all these challenges, you're going to get a reward when we come back to school, and that's going to be a really nice pizza and donut party, which I'm sure we're all going to need when we get back. Finally, the big one, Challenge 20. These challenges culminate in a shopping voucher that you can spend on whatever you want. So these are going to be really, really important things that are going to be really worthwhile to do. So they are pretty self-explanatory. Lots of them are kind of past papers. Some of them might be a little bit more Seneca based, but some of them are a bit different. So for example, Challenge 14. Today, I'm recording this on Monday, 27th of April, is our first happiness hour. This is going to happen every single week. Challenge 14 is complete your happiness hour lesson and submit the work you've produced. Now, that is going to be a really, really nice, easy task to sign off. So I imagine a lot of you will get that done pretty soon. So that's just an example of a bit of a different one that isn't all about your core subjects. Another one, Challenge 17. Get involved on the Year 10 Teams page consistently. Vote on the polls and comment your thoughts. You may have seen last week that Mrs. Thompson and I had the biggest song competition ever. It was a draw of 2-2 of who can get the most likes for our songs. Miss Pritchard made it more competitive with a poll, and you will have seen that this week we've extended it out to all of the Year 10 teams. So Miss Pritchard's involved, Miss Butler's involved, and Miss Bird is also involved. So get involved with that. If we can see you on there, we're going to turn that gold for you. So there's just a little selection of things, and I hope that explains the challenges a little bit more. Feel free to refer to this again if you need to. So here is just a zoomed in version of the Open challenges. Then, as you can see, they are split up. So I will show you each of them to enable you to get a little glimpse. Obviously, you can access the spreadsheet via Teams when we upload it on there. So now you've seen all of the challenges and the overall Go for Gold challenge, I wanted to just explain why we're doing this, because I'm aware you've all got your lessons going on and a lot of you are working really, really hard. But this challenge is not designed for you to have loads of extra work thrown your way. These are things that you are doing anyway. They are things that you are all, if you are watching this now, you are likely to be doing anyway. So these are the rationale behind it. Firstly, we want to reward students who are working super hard. This is what all this is about, isn't it? If we were at school now, you'd be given chocolate, you'd be getting certificates. You're still getting all of the certificates via email. We can't give you chocolate, unfortunately. So this is our way of rewarding you and keeping you kind of topped up with your rewards. But also to motivate you if you're feeling a bit demotivated. We can all admit that there are some days while we're in virtual school where it's easy, isn't it, just to sit and not do that much on our laptop, on our iPad, whatever we're using. And it is so hard to be motivated, especially without a teacher nagging you, as you would say. So this is something that will motivate you. The other thing as well is that we really want to ensure you achieve your target grades so you can access those endless opportunities after Aldersley. We don't want you to be hindered by this virtual school. We know you aren't. We know you're getting brilliant teaching and brilliant lessons, and you're doing absolutely brilliant work as well. And this is what it's about. It's about you getting the grades that you deserve, and this challenge might motivate and help some of you to get that, especially if you're doing those 20 or 20 of them. But also, it's going to give you a little taste out of year 11. This is the kind of thing we'll be doing when we're back at school in year 11. Lots of different challenges, things to keep you motivated. And I know lots of you have said before that you like the chart idea that you have in your open subjects where you can see things being ticked off really clearly. So that's the rationale of why. Final things then, this is a few kind of top tips from me. Firstly, I would say, consider which staff member will be able to turn your challenge gold and ensure you remind them to do so politely if you've noticed it's not gone gold. So, for example, if you are regularly going to maths and you're doing all your maths work and it's not turned gold yet, then don't start sending millions of emails to your maths teacher, nagging them, sir, miss, can you turn this gold please? Think about how you could do it politely first of all, but also make sure you are talking to the right person. So it's no good sending that email or going on Teams and tagging people in your class, or I don't know, your cooking teacher. Make sure you are thinking about the right staff members. Obviously, they are likely to be doing it anyway, but if you do need to remind anyone, please be polite and don't be naggy. Also, keep your eyes peeled on the Year 10 Autism Student Teams page for updates throughout the week. You will be able to track your progress on there. You won't be able to edit the spreadsheet, your teachers can, but we will be ensuring you can see where you're at, and we will keep uploading up-to-date versions of the file a few times a week so you can see what's gone gold for you. The other thing as well is to consider any evidence you might need to save to prove some of the challenges are complete. So lots of you might, I don't know, go onto your lessons, say your science lesson on Teams, and you were on the lesson and you completed the work and it hasn't turned gold. And you might say, well, miss, I did the work, it's not gone gold. Make sure you have saved your work. That should be something you're all doing when you're doing all this brilliant work, whether it's in your book and you're taking photos or if it's on your computer or tablet. Make sure you're saving it, not just calling it Doc 365, as I've seen some of you calling it. Make sure you're keeping it all safe because you might need to come back to it at some point. Remember, we are teachers, we're not robots. We sometimes make mistakes, we sometimes might not see something, or it might be that the technology's not gone quite right and it hasn't uploaded. So do be patient, but keeping any work that you do is really, really important, isn't it? To make sure that you're able to revise it as well. So just before we finish up, I just wanted to highlight some brilliant work going on from students that are probably going to absolutely smash this Go for Gold challenge anyway. These are our top points for the first week of summer term. So big well done to Alex T, over 1,000 points earned last week. But loads of you as well doing really well. Abdul Ahmed, Siobhan, Omar, Leah, Christian, Kira, Saj and Matthew B. A big well done. You've all had a certificate emailed to you. And also a big well done to Mrs Thomas's form. Again, the top form for points. You are really doing her proud, so well done. Now thinking about recognising individual students in particular, these are two students that have been voted for by your ASL and head of year. So let's start off with your ASL, that's me. The ASL Student of the Week this week is someone that I've noticed has been working exceptionally hard since we started on virtual school. They work hard in school as well, but their work on virtual school is absolutely brilliant, especially I've seen in English and history. And they're proof actually that you don't need to do everything on the computer. They do a lot of their work by hand or in a notebook or in their exercise book, and it is absolutely exceptional quality. So a massive well done this week. My ASL Student of the Week is Ellie Burns. Well done, Ellie. Keep up your amazing work. And the head of year student of the week this week from Mrs Thompson, who sends her best wishes to you all. Her student of the week is for a student who is always online on Teams, always working super hard, engaging with members of staff, completing all the work required of them, and I know that they're going to have an amazing year 11, and that is Ahmed. So well done, Ahmed. So that is the end of the assembly today. I've talked quite a lot about the Go for Gold challenge. You will see this in action going forward on our Year 10 Autism Teams page and on our Twitter account. All that is required of you, for a lot of you, is to just do what you're doing. and you'll see the rewards start piling in. For some of you, it might be you need to challenge yourself a little bit more to get those rewards, but just a little thinking point for the summer term: can you go for gold this week? So is there something you can see on that spreadsheet that you can do easy and get it ticked off right away? Is there a subject you need to work maybe a bit harder in and focus on this week? Think about what challenges you could do that could get you signed off nice and quickly, and remember, take on board all the top tips that I've given as well. So hope you're all well, stay safe and go for gold.